If you're not getting paid while you sleep, you're doing it wrong. So here are 5 ETFs that do just that. In this video, we're going to be diving into 5 of my favorite powerhouse dividend ETFs that are perfect for investors who want to grow their wealth and get paid while they sleep. All these ETFs meet 3 key criteria. Number 1, size. They are all at least $10 billion assets under management. This shows that they are reputable and lots of other people are investing into it as well. 2, dividend yield. They all pay at least a 3% dividend yield. 3, historical performance. They all have produced a positive performance since inception. This is important because it's common to see dividend ETFs produce a negative return despite the attractive dividend yield that they pay. And at the end, I'll share a simple story that changed the way I look at income investing forever. If you're ready, please do me a favor and drop a like and hit that subscribe button. 93% of you guys watching this video aren't subscribers, so it really helps me put this video out in front of more people and helps me grow as well too, as I put so much effort into making these videos for you guys. And in return, you have my commitment that I'll do everything that I can do to deliver high quality content for you guys. If you're ready, let's go. Number 1, SCHD. The Schwab US Dividend Equities ETF's objective is simple, but yet powerful. It tracks the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index, which focuses on 100 high-quality US companies that have consistently paid dividends and consistently grown their dividends that they pay over time. I really like SCHD because it balances both growth and income, unlike other ETFs that solely focus on income with little to no growth and sometimes even negative growth. SCHD screens for quality. According to their website, they focus on US stocks with a track record of consistently paying dividends, selected for fundamental strength relative to their peers based on financial ratios. This means you're not just getting yield, you're getting reliability. That's what makes SCHD such a solid foundation in any portfolio, not just income focused. Now, let's talk about performance. So far in 2025, SCHD is slightly down about 2.2% year to date so far, which is underperforming the broader market at a positive 2%. Over the last 12 months, SCHD has returned 5.16%. Since its inception in 2011, SCHD has returned 222%. And now, let's not forget about dividends. SCHD pays quarterly dividends of around 3.9% yield. In Q1 of 2025, the fund has paid 25 cents per share, which is lower than the previous payments, and there's a good reason for that. In October 2024, SCHD went through a 3-for-1 stock split, so that 25-cent dividend is 75 cents if it didn't go through the split, which is closer to what it was originally paying. Now, let's see where SCHD invests its money. SCHD leans into sectors like energy, consumer staples, and healthcare. These are all industries with reliable cash flows, unlike tech, which is common to see companies not even turn a profit. Its top 5 holdings currently include ConocoPhillips, Cisco, Texas Instruments, and Coca-Cola. They're all companies known for stable cash flows and long-standing dividend traditions. And for all of this, SCHD charges a ultra-low expense ratio of just 0.06%, making it one of the cheapest dividend ETFs in the industry. Plus, with over $70 billion in assets under management, they're a massive and reliable ETF to hold. And when you combine that with a tax advantage account like an IRA, you get a recipe for long-term wealth. Overall, SCHD remains a favorite amongst income-focused investors, and for good reason. It delivers steady payouts, grows your principals, and charges almost nothing to do it. And that's our solid foundation. But what if you want a global exposure with a strong yield? Which brings me to our next ETF. Number 2, VYMI. Let's talk about VYMI, the Vanguard International High Dividend Yield ETF. This gives you exposure to high dividend companies across the world. So, what's its objective? VYMI tracks the FTSE All-World ex-US High Dividend Yield Index, which screens for large and mid-cap companies that are above average dividend yields, specifically from developed and emerging markets outside the US. So, in plain English, you get the cash flow of mature global businesses without rolling the dice on speculative foreign stocks. Now, let's talk about performance. As of June 2025, VYMI is up roughly around 17.5% year to date, which is incredible given that the US market is only up about 2% year to date. Its 1-year return is about 16.3%, and since inception 9 years ago in 2016, it returned 54%. They also pay a quarterly dividend of around 4% yield with an expense ratio of just 0.17%, and it manages over $10.5 billion in assets, which is one of the smaller funds amongst our list, but geographically wise, it invests across 40 different countries outside the US and into companies with a solid track record. It's perfect for investors who want to diversify their income without gambling on overseas trends. So if you're looking to get paid while investing globally and do it without the guesswork, VYMI is your strongest contender to explore. Now, let's talk about our third ETF. Number 3, HDV. The iShares Core High Dividend ETF's objective is simple. Invest into 75 high-paying dividend companies that are in the US that meet our few criteria. Number 1, economic mode. This is to be able to provide sustainable dividends. Number 2, distance to default. It has to have a healthy balance sheet. Number 3, Morningstar uncertainty rating. This is also to reduce exposure to companies with a low margin of safety. And number 4, qualified dividend income. This is to increase your after-tax yield. When it comes to performance, HDV is modest. As of June 2025, the ETF is up around 3.5% year to date, and its 1-year return sits around 9%. Since its inception back in 2011, HDV has returned 129%. Now, let's talk about dividends. It also provides a dividend yield of around 3.5%, which is similar to our previous two that we mentioned earlier. Sector-wise, HDV leans heavily into consumer staples, energy, and healthcare. These are all sectors that tend to perform well when the markets get shaky since these are defensive sectors. There are also sectors that companies have a strong balance sheet in to weather any storms. These are cash-rich, recession-resistant giants. Some of its top holdings are Exxon, Johnson & Johnson, Chevron, AbbVie, and Progressive. They also manage $11 billion in this ETF, charging only 0.08%, which is peanuts for what it really offers. What really sets HDV apart is that it's built-in safety net. This ETF isn't trying to chase the hottest stocks or anything like that. It's building a wall of stability with stocks that often hold up when the markets are falling apart. When you collect dividends, you're also benefiting from HDV's defensive positions. This means less drama and more consistency. It's not just a high yield, it's a high yield with armor. For anyone looking to build a resilient income-producing core, HDV deserves a close look. We've talked about reliable US stocks, international yields, and quality filters. Now, what if I told you there's an ETF that pays you every single month? That's where we go to next. Number 4, JEPI and JEPQ. Let's talk about two of our most talked about dividend ETFs in recent years, JEPI and JEPQ. These two are siblings with slightly different personality, but one shared mission: deliver reliable income with an extra layer of strategy. JEPI is JP Morgan's equity premium income ETF, while JEPQ is JP Morgan's NASDAQ equity premium income ETF. Both launched in the 2020s. JEPI is in May 2020 and JEPQ is in May 2022. And since then, they've grown into income juggernauts with over $40 billion and $26 billion in assets under management, respectively. So, who are they? They're designed to pay high monthly yields using a combination of dividends and options. It generates most of its income through selling covered calls. JEPI deploys its strategy on more stable, value-oriented names. It's built to be a slightly lower risk and pays about an 8.3% dividend yield. JEPQ, on the other hand, is slightly more aggressive. It deploys this strategy on the NASDAQ 100, which includes names like Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. The yield is slightly higher, around 11.5%, but it's also tech heavy, so the price can swing a little bit more. You're also getting both growth potential, but also more risk. So it basically comes down to JEPI being slightly more stable and JEPQ offering more growth exposure with a higher yield and more risk. Let's talk about performance. Year to date, JEPI returned negative 3.3% and JEPQ returned negative 7%. So we could already see that JEPQ is already losing more this year since this year was quite chaotic. 1-year performance. JEPI returned negative 0.5% and JEPQ returned negative 4.4%. And since inception, JEPI returned 11.75% and JEPQ returned 5.5%. Both funds come with 0.35% expense ratio, which is higher than any of the other ETFs that we've covered on this list. This is because it's an active strategy of writing covered calls. Since this requires more work, they charge a little bit more for it, which is still not bad compared to other covered call ETFs out there. So, If you're someone who values predictable income over chasing moonshots, JEPI and JEPQ could be a great addition since those have a higher dividend yield amongst our list. So we've got income from every single angle: US, global, quality, and option enhanced monthly payers. But what does it all mean in practice? Let me leave you with a personal story. I had a family friend who worked 20 years as a janitor. He didn't know anything about investing, but yet he still put a portion of his paycheck into a handful of ETFs that was selected for him by a friend. He didn't trade, he never even watched the news. All he did was put his money into the same ETFs. Over time, he amassed a massive nest egg that he could live off of. And the best part, those ETFs pay more dividends than what he can spend every single month, all because he was consistent. Instead of chasing hot stocks or trying to beat the market, he focused on consistency. And that's the secret. Financial freedom doesn't require perfection. It requires a plan. It's easy to underestimate the emotional power of passive income. Every dividend payment is like a reminder that your money is working for you and not the other way around. You're not just investing, you're receiving your time. Whether you're just starting or looking to optimize your retirement income, these 5 dividend ETFs can help you probably get there. They're built on strong companies, backed by smart strategies, and managed with billions of investor dollars. Just remember that dividends are more than numbers. They're freedom in disguise. If you want me to walk you through building this kind of plan step by step for your own portfolio, I do offer a few one-on-one mentorship spots through my Success Accelerator program. This is where I hold your hand and walk you through one-on-one, teaching you how to build wealth from the ground up. This is perfect for the people who have money and want to get started investing but just need a little bit of guidance. The link is below if you want to apply. If you found this breakdown helpful, please consider giving this a like and subscribe. It certainly helps me reach out to more people like you who are trying to be smarter with their money. And if you want to learn more, check out this video over here on how to build the perfect portfolio including crypto.